It's time to check in with Monica Paige, Turning Point's White House correspondent at the White House. Monica, how you doing?
Hey, Jobob. It is again another heat wave is coming. I don't know if it's climate change part two or global warming part two, but we are definitely experiencing yet another heat wave here at the White House.
Oh boy, that's you hate to
Yep.
hear that. But glad you're staying cool. Hopefully you're staying cool. What's going on at the White House today? Bibi in town to meet with President Trump. What's coming on out of that? And will there be any sort of blowback, as the libs call it?
Yes. Well, this is the third meeting that Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu is meeting with President Trump. This is the third time here at the White House. It's going to be completely closed off to the press. We do not anticipate the president coming out of the West Wing like he normally does. We won't be able to see the prime minister himself, but we are expected to hear a little bit more about the ongoing 60-day ceasefire, the 60-day truce deal that is on the table here. We're just waiting for Hamas to accept this deal. Israel already agreed to the terms, which is releasing 10 live Israeli hostages, 18 deceased Israeli hostages in the region. Of course, this meeting coming right after President Trump and the U.S. military, quote unquote, completely obliterated three of Iran's nuclear facilities in the Middle East. So this is going to be an all eyes on this meeting, of course. It's going to be a dinner. It's going to be talks behind closed doors. We know Special Envoy Steve Witkoff is meeting with Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu at the Blair House. So a lot of meetings happening with U.S. officials today. And we're definitely expecting, and the president is hopeful that there will be a deal at some point this week, hopefully at some point next week. We know Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu also holding a separate press briefing at some point this week as well. And yes, we can definitely expect there to be plenty of protests. They have already barricaded the roads leading up to the White House. It's completely closed off in three different directions. They have giant dump trucks in every single direction coming into the White House, right outside the coffee shops here. It's pretty desolate. It's very quiet so far, but we can definitely expect protests. There's been flyers around on social media accounts, protest at 6 p.m. Eastern time. We'll see what happens at that point, but there are definitely protests expected.
Yeah, I can never understand. We are talking a little bit before this that what people are doing there. What do they think they're accomplishing? But
Right.
that, but again, hopefully everything remains actually peaceful, not what the libs would call peaceful, because that means things on fire, and that's not peaceful. They just like to say that. Anything else going on at the White House that we should be aware of or keep an eye on?
Well, we know that the president is holding a cabinet meeting tomorrow afternoon. I believe this is either his second or third cabinet meeting this term, where he's going to gather all the officials here in one of the cabinet meeting rooms and talking about latest current affairs. We actually heard from Press Secretary Caroline Levitt this afternoon regarding his upcoming schedule. We'll see what comes out of that cabinet meeting. She didn't dive into too many details regarding that. We also expect the president to be traveling to Texas following those devastating
Hmm.
floods in the area. We expect him to be surveying the damage and speaking with local leaders on the ground there. Of course, getting FEMA possibly involved and allocating some funds towards those recovery efforts. So the president is expected to travel there at some point later this week, and definitely all eyes will be on that as well.
Yeah, it's cabinet meetings. That's a thing of the past. I don't remember President Biden ever actually having one of those, especially in the last year of his office. There's some crazy statistic out there of like he didn't have any cabinet meetings for like a huge extended period of time. But yeah, it'll be interesting seeing what comes out of that. Monica, hey, stay cool out there as best you can, and we'll check in with you tomorrow.
Thank you guys. See you tomorrow.